You ever just feel stuck? Like you just don't know where to go from here? Like that feeling of climbing a mountain but seeing a million more mountains to climb and being excited to climb the rest of them and not really knowing where to start. Or maybe you're super pumped to get a new project going but you don't know where to begin. Yeah, that's basically been me ever since I left to go get milk almost 3 months ago in December. And through this journey of getting the milk, I realized that, man, creative block really just sucks, huh? Seriously though, put yourself in my shoes. You're itching to get back to YouTube, you're seeing some of your friends make cool new videos, and you want to get back on the horse as soon as possible, and you also have your Discord account hacked because that's just how it be sometimes. And then after all that, you just sit there like, man, I really don't know how to even get started, do I? And yeah, that's where I'm kind of at right now. So why not yap about this for some minutes? You know the drill by now, let's hop to it. Let's start off by firstly defining what creative block even is. Quote, creative blocks are periods of reduced creative thinking and productivity. Such blocks can occur at any stage of the project. During these, designers experience difficulty in generating fresh ideas creatively. End quote. Yeah, that basically sums up my position right now. I've been out of the game for so long that I gotta relearn how to even play the game. Cause even though I wasn't completely gone from YouTube during my hiatus as I featured in GeekTunes channel in late February, I was still rusty when it came to editing, and I'm honestly surprised with how good that part turned out. But besides all that, it's still hard to get back into the groove of things. Think about it like this. You get really good at doing a dance move, but after a while of not doing it, you forget how to do it, and you don't even know where to get started on relearning how to do it. But once you get back into doing it after relearning the basics, you're able to do it again. It's probably not a perfect analogy, but whatever, I'm keeping it. So now let's apply this to my situation. I went on hiatus on December 23rd of 2023, and I'm only just now coming back almost 3 months later in March. Now with me specifically, long periods of absence between videos isn't that unheard of, but usually it's just a month or two between videos. Some of you may be asking, what's the big deal? It's just one extra month. Well, that's an easy question to answer, my friend. Expectations. You see, I kinda hold myself to a relatively high standard when it comes to YouTube, or basically almost every single thing that I do in my life. So much so that I kind of got into the mindset of, if you're not looking like this by the time you finish a video, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough. And I'd always constantly compare the video that I'd be currently working on to the last video I made to see what I can improve on. That alone is fine, as in wanting to improve, but it led to a bad mindset. And where that bad mindset comes into play is that while having long gaps between uploads is normal, especially if you're a broke 18-year-old senior in high school like myself, it'd still irk me a bit, so I'd always rush to get back to YouTube as soon as possible. But that got a whole lot harder to do once creative block set in. Now for me, my most recent bout of it came from just how draining January was for me. Everyone was so excited for January of 2024, me included. We were all making plans and celebrating the coming of 2024 in a way that I haven't seen people do since New Year's of 2020. And just like with 2020, it went south so quickly. Or at least it did with me. I hope you guys had a good January. You see, I originally had plans to come back in February, but both school and then my slow to recover mental health prevented that from happening, which resulted in creative thinking and productivity being reduced by a lot. This is natural, of course, but if you're like me, you'll beat yourself up about not being able to return to YouTube fast enough, and also compare yourself to your fellow YouTuber friends who are uploading, and thus make yourself feel 10 times worse in the process. And it's not fair to do that to yourself, especially when you're recovering from a bad period of mental health. Comparing yourself to others, especially when you're already down on yourself, is a recipe for prolonged sadness. A wise person once told me that comparison is the thief of joy, and that quote will stick with me for a very long time because it's true. Comparing yourself to your friends while you're already down on yourself just makes you more sad. So please don't ever do that. Where you yourself are at in life is enough, even if it's just you getting up and brushing your teeth. Which is also why I don't like it when people who have the luxury of not struggling with their mental health trivializing it and making it into a trend. Dear person who thought it would be a good idea to make bed rotting, which is actually something that's indicative of depression, into a cute little trend to do, I hope this letter finds you before I do. But yeah, joking aside, it's not funny. Bed rotting is really serious and depression is serious and shouldn't be trivialized like that. But more about me dealing with creative block or something. It can really suck because sometimes if you're like me, you'll eventually come up with an idea but almost immediately throw it out because it's not as good as the last video that you made. This is something that me and a lot of other YouTubers have to deal with, and it kind of makes it harder to get out of creative block. That feeling of not being able to come up with anything good enough. But the idea of good enough is relative if you really think about it. What you define as good enough might be different from what somebody else defines as good enough. And that's fine for the most part. We all have our own levels of good enoughness. Yes, I just made up a word on the spot because dictionaries and actual words can go kick rocks. But where it's not okay is when somebody uses their definition of what's good enough to hurt you, which is unfortunately an all too real scenario. But just know that you're enough just the way you are, and no matter what anybody else says and does. And if you're struggling with creative block, don't worry, because currently I'm in the same boat. And it's not something to be ashamed of, as creatives like me deal with it all the time. And now it's time for the end of the video. And as we should all know by now from my Confessions of a Closet Nerd video, I don't know how to transition from part to part in videos like this, so yeah, let's just go to the video end thing, or whatever. As always, subscribe to the spin-off channels. I promise I'll upload to them soon. Also follow my Instagram and Spotify. And if you want to chat with yours truly, then hop in the Discord server. Also, I know that this is cliche, but if you're not already subscribed and you like what you're seeing, then please consider doing so. I'm trying to hit 430 subs by the end of Ramadan. By the way, Ramadan Mubarak to all my fellow Muslims out there. Love you guys. Also, in light of me canceling my Best of Otaku Love 2023 video, I decided to still make that tier list that I had planned to use in that video, and now you guys can use it to personally rank my videos from 2023. The link will be in the description. Also, random shout out time, go subscribe to Jaden and follow them on Twitter and Spotify. They're one of my best friends and are an amazing person and really talented too. My personal favorite song of theirs is This Place is Haunted. All that's left to say now is to stand Willow from the Owl House, ceasefire now, and free Palestine from the river to the sea, and thanks for watching. That's a wrap, folks. Bye for now and happy very late New Year's.